Hey, welcome to I'm That Mom, the podcast about motherhood without the pressure of perfection. My name is Katy. I'm a self-taught entrepreneur who started my baby company while pregnant and grew it to an 8-figure business as a single mom of 3. Join us as we discuss the fun, funny, and messy parts of motherhood. We're certainly not experts. We're just here to support all the moms and hopefully, collectively, we don't completely f*** it up.
Okie dokie. Today, we're talking about finding time for yourself as a new mom.
Did you say okie dokie?
I did. Sorry. I'm like half mom mode, half work mode.
Okie dokie, Smokey.
I know.
Yes, our favorite topic to talk about, apparently, is I feel like everything we talk about comes full circle to like, well, if we just prioritize ourselves, life would be easier. And honestly, if it was just that easy, right, to do that, then we'd all be doing it and we wouldn't be sitting here having a podcast about it.
No,
that's
exactly.
for sure. Okay, so I wrote down asking for help as number 1 because I feel like the only way as a new mom that you're going to be able to find time to prioritize yourself is to ask for help, because we just do all the things by choice, you know?
Yeah.
What's happening? But yeah, so whether you need to ask for help from grandparents or, you know, aunts and uncles or friends, or find a nanny or babysitter. I mean, do you guys have a nanny? Like or not nanny, a babysitter. Do you guys have a babysitter?
We do, yeah. We have we always go to the grandmas first, which, that's always nice too. It surprises me, like, what they'll say yes to. And
really?
So, yeah, I don't know. Just, that's the thing though. I struggle with asking for help. And so whenever.
And they both live here, right?
Yeah. So they're obsessed and they always volunteer. And then on the off chance they're both busy, we have to go to a babysitter, and she's always around, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And
so is it always just for date night, or do you ever just like have a sitter come and help maybe for a couple hours on a Saturday so you can like run errands by yourself?
We haven't done that yet, just because like Kevin and I can trade off with each other. But actually, you know what? No, we have done that with a grandma before, where like we literally just went to like Home Goods and like went shopping, but just a break.
But or even, you know, you made a good point when you were saying like, oh well, Kevin and I trade off. I'm like, that's awesome, because you know, I come from experience with early on when my babies were little. I mean, I had to almost ask permission to like leave the house by myself. And not, that sounds bad, like when I say ask for permission, but I would kind of say like, hey, will you watch the kids while I run to...
Yeah, like, is it okay?
Yeah, like ask permission. Mm-hmm. And they never did. They just would go, I'm going to wherever. And I was like, okay, because I just always had the kids and always was doing it. And so I think that if you and Kevin are doing that and splitting it, that's freaking amazing. How do you get all the women listening that are like, oh my God, I do what Katy does, and I say, hey, can you watch the kids? Like they're a babysitter and not the dad, which also watch the kids is not the same as like you're parenting. Like this is your job too. So.
Yeah, it's not babysitting.
No, it's not
I don't
babysitting.
know. I am lucky because he loves to spend time with her, but I do catch myself doing the same thing because I work full time too, and so like that taking that extra time is like I have to make the choice pretty much between like taking that time or spend it with Grayson.
With her. So you
I
kind of
just,
feel
like,
guilty, right? Like you think you have to take her with you to Target because...
Or if I leave her behind, I'm like, is that okay with you that I'm not here? And so I get it. But at the same time, it's so important to do that because like you said, like he doesn't always do that. But Kevin also, like he takes his time during the week. And so that's something else we figured out is like when each of us like is available for that free time.
That's smart. So maybe maybe yours is on a Wednesday and you go get a pedicure.
Yep.
Or something that kind of gives you that moment where you're not coming home first. So you're not transitioning to mom. You get to go from work and have that like
so I know
that's
like
so smart. Or get your hair done or whatever.
But I know like Wednesday night, like I can do whatever I want because that is
his night that he's committing to like, you know, I don't care what you're doing, where you're going. You don't have to ask permission. Yeah. There's no guilt associated with it. How smart is that?
It was helpful.
Did you give him a night?
I mean, he doesn't have
no.
a night one.
No. Casey, you
works
did
for
not.
himself though, so it's different because
he has like
makes
all
his own
day
schedule.
Yeah,
and so like if he feels like he has the time to step away from work, then he can go do that and go play around a golf.
Yes.
I don't have that luxury, and so that's where we had to learn to compromise because
that's so smart.
It was not always that peaceful at first. At first, he'd be like, you come home from work and then you disappear because you're going to do this and you're going to H-E-B and go grocery store. And I'm like, well, yeah, but when else do I do it?
Yeah, and also, by the way, you've got free time in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
You know what we eat.
So, yeah, no, this arrangement, like, came from an argument. That's for sure.
That's smart.
It's, like, because we were both, like, missing that, like, time for ourselves that, like, we were like, okay, this has to happen.
I love that. I think I'm going to ask for a day.
You should. It's
I
nice.
should.
Like, this is my day.
Everything, of course, is a negotiation. So I think I might start off with like 3 days. Because,
oh my gosh.
Right? Like my goal is just one day. So maybe if I ask for 3, then he'll feel like he's winning. You know, because remember I told you the baby name trick?
Yeah.
Like this is completely off topic. But if you want to get your husband to agree to something that you want, the trick, and write this down, ladies, is to make them think it was their idea or that they won. That's all. Every man on this planet only wants to win at whatever it is on whatever level. And so when Casey and I were talking about names, baby names, I hope Kevin doesn't listen to this because then he's going to know our trick. But it is,
I'll block him.
Yeah. I said, if you have a name that you love, or in my scenario here is I want one day like off, right? So go in with all the other ideas, like, cause they've got to shut it down at some point. They have to say, no, I don't like that. Like, no, that's not my favorite. So, you can say, well, I want to name the baby Rachel. No, I don't like Rachel, blah, 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 or whatever the names are. And then you just kind of in passing be like, okay, well, what about, and you're naming off a bunch of names. And then you like say the name that you love most, like in a pretty voice or whatever. And then, or have them repeat it and go, what of those names did you like best? And then they go back and repeat 3 and you're like, oh my God, I love that.
What was that last one you said?
What was that last one you said? Did you make that up? Where did you hear that? I love, even though
you're so smart.
I know, it's brilliant. I know. And I can do the same thing with my days off. And so then if you go into this whole and they're like, well, I thought you said it, and go, no, I don't think I said that, but that's like, you did really good.
I like your idea.
Yeah. And then they kind of wear it for a while and then immediately throw out names that they'll hate. Like go straight for the super trendy, like, well, then I'm going to name my kid, Thursday. And then they're like, no, I told you. And then you're like, okay, well, I like that one you came up with. And girls, that is how you get
brilliant
baby name. I know they can't see you like doing the brain thing. Well, I guess on the camera we can. But anyways, I feel like that little trick applies to a lot of things. So maybe I'm going to go in with hey, I was really thinking like every other day for an entire week. I could use the afternoon off, and he's going to immediately shoot it down. And then I'm going to have to figure out a way to weasel my way back to that one. But
hey, it's better than nothing.
Yeah,
though.
I'll let you know next
right?
week. I'm going to let you know and be like, I figured it out. But yeah, so I mean, to that, like, we started off talking about grandparents and aunts and uncles and daycare and babysitter, nanny, and asking for help in general. Like, just figure out a way, and maybe it comes from, conflict resolution, right? That's how yours came about, was how can we make this better? But, maybe when you start to feel like new moms start to feel overwhelmed, sit down and have the conversation before the fight happens, and say, hey, I heard this podcast. And what do you think of something like this? And, because I think there's a lot of women out there, and especially the stay-at-homes, that have their kids all day, are constantly being pulled in a million directions, doing all the things, everything for the house. And, there's probably a little bit of resentment when their husbands get to go off to work and, they're out socializing and they're like played golf all day, but they have a sales job, and you're just like reeling, which I'm sure you had a little bit of that. And you're like, I know, but I don't get time. And then they say to you, but I worked all day.
Oh,
and
that line.
Yeah. I mean, that stings whether you're a stay-at-home mom or a working mom.
Yeah.
It stings when your significant other says, but I worked all day, because it's not like you were sitting around at the spa doing, anything in any situation. And so I think really setting the tone at the beginning of this is a 50-50 thing. Like, we are both equal parents, and let's figure out a way. You want some me time? Great. I want the same amount of me time.
Yep.
You know?
Another thing too that like some of my friends have done, and like to either because of a fight or to help avoid the fight.
So much brilliance comes from fights.
I know. It really does though. I mean, like that's when you know you have a problem. And sometimes like you don't realize you have to fix something until it's broken.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
true.
Oops. Okay.
Yeah.
But one of my friends, she listed out like every little thing that had to be done, because they both work and had to take care of the kid. And she was like, okay, this is literally every single thing that has to be taken care of. Like, I can do these, but I need help with this.
That's awesome.
And whether it's the husband.
How long was her list? Like, was it like a book?
I mean, a little bit.
Mine would be
it's like no, exactly. But when you think about it, all of that adds up. And so, like, whether you need to like ask a grandma, or like if you have the ability to like get a housekeeper or do something, like whatever that help looks like, there's different ways to get there.
Yes, and you can have it out in a list, so you're not leaving something out. Like, there's more thoughtfulness that goes behind it, which
and I think that helps the people that are visual too, because like you can like talk all day long about I did this and that, but sometimes if they see it written down, it can click with them a little.
I remember a fight back in the day, and I listed out all. I was like, because it was one of those like every single couple out here has had this fight. Like, I do more than you, right? Yep. Like I do more than you, and so I was like, let's list them out. And I said, I'm gonna list out mine. And man, I was still writing. Like, I'm just like, and I do this, and I do this, and I do this. Okay, so then he gives me his list. It has like maybe 5 things on it, maybe, all of which were things that we split, like doing the dishes, like where it's already something we had negotiated to half and half. So I put away my own laundry, that kind of stuff. And I'm like, no, you don't get to list things that I didn't know this list was all the things that I also do for myself.
Like who washed that laundry first?
Yes. I said, I want you to list out something that you do for this family that has zero involvement from me, like, period. Because my list was primarily just stuff I did, And I think I don't think anything ever even gotten written down. So we immediately then made a list, and I was like, one of these becomes yours and one becomes mine if we can't be split half and half. And, and it did work. And I was able to take my frustration with that. I mean, I was so young, right?
Yeah. And
apply it to my relationship now. But I think that's so smart and like really great marriage advice. You should be like a counselor.
Oh my gosh, no.
But, people should talk about that stuff more. Like, that's a really great idea to take into a relationship at any point, whether you're newlywed, married 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. How awesome to just kind of write it down and be like, let's take a pulse on this, so that we feel like we're both equally contributing to this relationship. I bet you that, he or she would appreciate that too.
I think so. And I mean, if anything, like, use it as like a pat on the back moment for yourself to say like, look at everything I get done in
pat
the day.
On your back. You mean like a bragging moment?
I mean, we need those too. That's like
look at how I ran circles around you in the day.
I mean, you don't have to say it out loud, but you can at least look at it and be proud and say like, I get all of that done.
Yeah.
So I think that's important too, to like give yourself kudos for everything you do.
Absolutely.
Even on the slow days, it's
chaos.
Still a lot.
It is still chaos. That's why on our birthdays and Mother's Day, the one thing we don't want to do is mother.
Yeah.
Like I think every woman everywhere has always and Mother's Day is when it's most, I don't know, funny to me, because birthday is always like, I want to do my favorite things, like whatever I love most doing, that's what I want to do on my birthday. And half the time it is, I want to celebrate with my family and have my kids and do my favorite dinner or go to a restaurant, whatever. But for some reason on Mother's Day, the one thing I really don't, you're smiling because I know. Like, and it's the whole thing is like, it's about mothering. And I'm like, just all I want to do is not mother. Like, can I just, all the questions need to go to you. All the cleaning needs to go to you. All the mothering, all the neediness, all the like hanging. Like, do you ever just feel like at the end of the day, you've got nothing left to give because it's like all oozed out of you? And so, yeah, on Mother's Day, I usually find myself going, I just want everyone to leave me alone.
Right?
Yeah, let me just take a moment and breathe on Mother's Day.
That's so funny. My mother-in-law actually has a pretty good line about that. So she raised 3 kids by herself. And whenever she had those moments and the kids were like, Mom, she'd be like, Mom's at HEB, and she would just like be in the bedroom or in the bathroom but be like, Mom's not here right now.
Oh, like, really? Like she's like, no, I'm not Mom. Like, yeah, completely like, different person.
Yep. Like, I'm taking a moment.
Yeah. What did they say? How did Kevin say he'd answer him like that?
Oh, they always just thought it was so funny. And I mean, like, Kevin was the oldest, and so he's the ringleader. So he'd be like, all right, can't bother Mom right now for like 5 minutes.
Mom's having a moment.
Yeah, mom's at the grocery store.
I don't think I do it that gracefully, but I've definitely have moments where my teenagers and everyone's asking 1,000 things at once, and I have homework and I need this, and then we've got to do a last minute trip to Walmart because somebody has a project due, and I'm like, stop, I need everybody to stop, and they all look at you like deer in the headlights, and you're like, it's like, oh God, Mom's about to have one of those freakouts, and I'm like, I need a moment. And I'll go into my room and I'll shut the door and I take a breath, and the oldest is usually like, are you okay?
Yeah, see, the oldest always knows.
Yeah, the oldest always knows. They're like, this could go both ways. We need to tread lightly. Mom could break at any moment.
And see, that's why we don't wait until Mother's Day for that.
No, and that's why I should have had a Wednesday like you. Now I know why you come bebopping in Thursday morning all happy because I'm like, Rachel had her Wednesday, and I'm still like trying to secretly manipulate my husband into giving me a day. He's like, I'm not even your kid's dad. Like, this is your thing. I'm all, damn it. How do I get a day? But yeah, I did. So I wrote down finding time for yourself as a new mom or any stage mom. Grandparents are good at finding time for themselves. Like, that's why I feel like my whole life is training to be a grandma.
Oh, those are going to be the glory days.
No, I'm going to rock star it. I watch my mom come in. She's like whirlwind, takes the kids, gives them whatever they want to eat. She doesn't care. Yeah, she's like, oh, you want this? Here you go. Not my problem, whatever. And then she does. She crash grandparents, and then she disappears for like weeks on end.
That's my mom. Like my mom this weekend, she like came over, like stayed up with Grayson in the middle of the night when she was sick. Yeah. And she's like, okay, but I'm unavailable next weekend because I'm going to Mexico.
Oh my God.
Like, oh. Okay. Yeah. Well, you did your duties then. Well,
yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. I saw, I wish I could remember it exactly right now, but it was like a meme on Instagram, and it said, I'm really sick and tired of my mom always, of my mom always leaving her grandbabies with me. Oh my God. Like, it was like a reverse. Like, I'm so sick of my mom not taking care of her grandbabies, like, yes, because it's us, because we're also the kids, and it's kind of, we want to do them. This isn't fair. Yeah. To our mom. But yeah, I'm going to rock star grandparenting.
And then you just hand them back when you're done.
I'm going to spoil them rotten, and then I'm going to give them back, and I'm going to say, karma's a bitch, kids.
Well, I think the grandmas have it so good because they've already made it to the other side. Like, they have seen it all.
I am ready for the other side, except for my oldest is like 20, and so I really actually probably need about 10 more years. But
it's not too far off.
I'm closer than you are.
Yeah, you're within reach. So.
Oh my gosh, this was so fun. I love these conversations. And I got a great piece of advice from you. I am definitely going to be requesting my Wednesday, but Anyway, so that's it. We are wrapping up another fun podcast. Don't forget, you can check out our brand, Kaden Lane, at kadenlane.com. Follow us on all the social medias, the Instagrams and TikToks. We've got a great blog that's imthatmom.com. And subscribe and leave a review. We'd love to know what you think.
Thanks. See you all next time.
Bye.